The film opens with a harrowing scene where Emma, a woman enduring severe abuse from her husband, faces yet another violent confrontation. Their heated argument reveals a history of repeated torment, leaving Emma emotionally and physically drained. Her husband brandishes a gun, escalating the tension. In a desperate act of self-defense, Emma retrieves a hidden firearm, but the scene abruptly cuts away, leaving the outcome ambiguous. Years later, Emma reappears as a resilient figure, having overcome her traumatic past. Her husband is no longer in her life, and she now works as a therapist, helping women who have suffered domestic abuse. Living with her sister and young son, Emma has rebuilt her life, but remains guarded. At her sister's urging, she reluctantly agrees to meet someone new, a man named James, whom she has never met. They arrange to meet at an upscale restaurant. Upon arriving, Emma accidentally bumps into a stranger, but brushes it off and takes an outdoor seat. While chatting with the waitress, an elderly man named Charles approaches, mistakenly addressing her by another name, thinking she's someone else. After clarifying the mix-up, they strike up a friendly conversation. Charles eventually joins his actual friend at another table, leaving Emma alone. Soon, Emma notices mysterious notifications, anonymous messages, and photos referred to as drops appearing on her phone. These drops can only be sent by someone nearby. But as she scans the restaurant, she sees everyone engrossed in their phones, making it impossible to identify the sender. When James arrives, their conversation begins politely, but Emma's attention is drawn back to her phone when James asks about her son. Checking for a message from her sister, she finds more drops instead. She confides in James, who also suspects the sender is close by. The situation escalates when a chilling message instructs Emma to check her home's security footage. Accessing the feed, she is horrified to see masked intruders armed with guns inside her house. Before she can alert James, another message warns her to stay silent, threatening dire consequences. Panicked, Emma steps away to call the police, but receives another message claiming her phone has been cloned, with the sender monitoring her every move. She abandons the call, fearing for her family's safety. As she returns to her table, Emma collides again with the same stranger from earlier, but ignores him. In the restroom, she considers asking for help, but is deterred by another threatening message. Resigned, she returns to James and, following the sender's instructions, engages him in conversation. The anonymous sender reveals James is a photographer and demands Emma steal and destroy the memory card from his camera. To create an opportunity, Emma pretends to lose her watch, sending James to look for it. While he's away, she retrieves the camera from his bag, discovering incriminating photos and documents exposing the mayor's corruption. Realizing the sender wants this evidence destroyed, she removes and breaks the memory card. When James returns, Emma receives another demand: to make him drink a liquid from a container in the restroom's toolbox, which she recognizes as poison. Refusing to commit murder, she is blackmailed with threats against her son's life. Torn and terrified, Emma notices the stranger she bumped into earlier, now sitting alone and using his phone, raising her suspicions that he's the sender. Before she can act, James senses her unease and prepares to leave, feeling she's uncomfortable. Desperate to keep him there, Emma kisses him and insists he stay. Meanwhile, a young woman, Charles's friend from earlier, storms out, catching Emma's attention. Inspired by a nearby pianist collecting tips in a bowl, Emma writes, "Help me," on a banknote with her lipstick and has a waiter deliver it to him. However, the note ends up in the pianist's tip bowl unnoticed. To her horror, The pianist collapses after drinking something, and Emma receives another warning message, accompanied by a banknote in her food plate, suggesting the sender saw her attempt. Checking her security footage again, she sees the intruders torturing her sister and son, with her son locked in a room. The sender demands she complete the task or face dire consequences. Emma, feigning calm, offers to get James a drink. As she prepares to spike it with poison, another message insists she do it at the table. During their conversation, James shares that he was drawn to her honesty on her dating profile. Unlike others who lie, moved, Emma opens up about her abusive marriage, describing how her husband's repeated apologies and cycles of violence broke her until she finally left. Emotional, James steps away to buy her chocolates, giving Emma a chance to slip poison into his drink. At the last moment, consumed by guilt, she spills the drink on him to prevent him from consuming it. Furious, the sender accuses her of trickery. Emma suspects the stranger she bumped into, but his partner's arrival confuses her. Approaching the waitress for information, she learns the stranger is a regular who always reserves a front table, but today, Charles occupies it. Confronting Charles, Emma is stunned when he calls her by name, despite her never sharing it. Her suspicions confirmed, Charles admits to orchestrating the drops, praising her cleverness, but blaming her for the pianist's death, which he caused to prevent police involvement. As James returns, Emma introduces Charles as a friend to deflect suspicion. Following Charles's orders, she hands James a drink, which he consumes. She then demands Charles call off his men. Smirking, Charles complies, believing the task is complete. However, Emma reveals she tricked him. She didn't poison James's drink, but laced Charles's food instead. Enraged, Charles pulls a gun, causing a commotion. James steps in to shield Emma, taking a bullet. As Charles aims again, the waitress intervenes, knocking the gun, causing a shot to shatter a window. In the chaos, Charles attacks the waitress with a knife, injuring her. Emma throws an object at him, breaking the glass behind him. The resulting wind pulls Charles out, and he falls to his death. With James and the waitress injured, Emma grabs James's car keys, calls the police, and races home. At her house, the intruder has shot her sister and is about to kill her son. Emma, armed with a knife, stabs the intruder in the shoulder. He overpowers her, but her son uses a remote control car to deliver a gun to her. Emma shoots the intruder, saving herself and her son. In the hospital, Emma brings food for her sister, who survived a graze wound, and James, who is recovering. Grateful for their survival, Emma decides to build a future with James. The film closes with the family, including her sister and son, finding peace and happiness together.